Today, I'll provide a recap on what happened in the Christchurch property market in January and our take. Hi, I'm Najib and I've been selling homes in Christchurch in the last 17 years or so. In our world of real estate, advice can be a double-edged sword. Many well-known, reputable companies often highlight the positives and overlook key facts and push their own agendas. At Najib, we deliver the truth. Our objective is to provide honest insight that help you make informed property decisions. If you have any questions in the topic today, please leave a comment and we'll choose one to answer next week's video. Recently, there was an article came out that ASB predicted they're going to be growth of 2.5% in real estate prices and Westpac 7.7%. And that's a huge growth. And why do they do these predictions? The reason they do their predictions, obviously, these people are in business to make money. So they're trying to encourage people to borrow money from them. And if they say that the prices are going up, what are people going to do? People are going to go and try to get mortgage, right? Because at the moment, the banks has made it harder for people to borrow money, the Reserve Bank. So they're trying to get more business. To get more business, what are they trying to say? They're trying to say the price is going to go up. So you better go and get yourself a mortgage and buy yourself another house, right? As I said, they've got an agenda behind what they're trying to sell you. The mortgage rate drops in the last quarter. The maximum mortgage rate drop was 0.2%. And the reason banks trying to lower their interest rate just by slight margin is obviously they need business. In a tougher economy, these banks are businesses, so they're trying to get more business, trying to compete with different banks. What do? They try and drop their interest rate. So when you get in buying a house and you're only 5 people buying a house for the week, right? I want you to come and borrow money from me if I'm ASB or BNZ or ANZ, right? So what I'll do, I'll give you a marginal drop of 0.2% the most, right? It's a bit like the Briscoe sale. They're trying to encourage people to come buy stuff from them. So what do? They give you this sales on 24/7 there, right? And that usually happen in a tougher economy. That's a sign of a tough economy. So that's the reason. Don't get excited by small marginal drops in interest rate. The interest only moves when the Reserve Banks move the interest rate. If you're enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel below and click the notification so you can watch our weekly videos. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand, RBNZ, just came in with this article with the debt to income mortgage restrictions to make sure the market is still, the economy is still intact or slower. I'm reading from the article, DTI restriction on residential mortgage lending when implemented set limits on the amount of debt borrowers can take on relative to their income. This supports financial stability by limiting higher risk mortgage lending, thus reducing the likelihood of a future related financial crisis. That's exactly what we've been saying, that they're gonna keep on bringing these restrictions. The reason behind that is because even if they lower the interest rate slightly, they will do that mid this year. They still want the economy to be slow. They don't want the economy to take off, because if there's no restrictions and the interest rate is a little bit lower, yes, the market may take off again. So they don't want that. All these restrictions is to keep the market slow and slow it down, to help it stop from the housing crisis again. And we talked about last time that if they were to reduce the interest rate now or even mid-year and there's no restrictions in place, we spoke about the reverse market crash. You should watch our video that we did last month and I'll talk about exactly that point. On Trade Me last month, week on week, they showed increase in listings, less mortgage rate approval. What does that mean for the market? More supply, less demand. When buyers have got a whole lot of options to choose from, then the market softens. It always does. It's demand and supply. That's two of the five important variables in real estate. When you're doing comparison, if you're looking at stats in whole of New Zealand, and if you want to get an accurate number or accurate stat of the property prices moving down or upwards or downwards, it's a lot more accurate when you've got one suburb you're looking at. For example, in West Milton, we sold a section last week better than the section that we sold a year or so ago for 677,500. That was a year ago, and on Saturday we signed a deal of 430,000. Now that is almost actually a 35% drop. So that is more accurate comparison when it comes to the drop in the market or increase in the market, looking at more closer sample of one suburb at a time. When you're looking at putting whole New Zealand in it, it's not as accurate as it would be in one suburb. Let's have a conversation about the inflation rate at the moment. For the last quarter, the inflation rate was 4.7%. The quarter before that was 5.6%. The quarter before that was 6%. The inflation is coming lower, which is great, absolutely. But let's not get excited about it, because what happens off the back of inflation, when inflation comes down, meaning that there's not that much things happening in the economy, things are slowing down. That's why the inflation comes down. When inflation comes down, off the back of that, there's unemployment rate. There is, off the back of unemployment rate, there's going to be mortgage sales. There's going to be people who have to sell houses. There's going to be a whole lot of things off the back of that, meaning that the economy is going to come back. Now, we've spoken about the Phillips curve. You should familiarize yourself. We've spoken about it in our last video. You can go back, watch our last video, or just Google Phillips curve. When inflation is high, you've got unemployment rate low. When inflation is low, your unemployment rate is high. That's a very interesting study to familiarize yourself with, because off the back of inflation, there's a whole lot of things which are not going to be pretty. But when you're trying to get an economy back to a normal, as a good economy, all those things are the byproducts of getting the economy back into a healthy growth, if you will. And we did have a conversation around the Reserve Bank having only single mandate, and that's purely because when they're trying to get the inflation under control, there's going to be unemployment rate. The double mandate was that they want to have the economy increase at a healthy level, as well as having the unemployment rate under 5%. But when you're trying to get inflation rate from 7-8% to 2%, there's going to be a whole lot of not so pretty things, meaning that people are going to lose their jobs. There's not going to be that much stuff happening in the economy. At Najib, we believe in 3 Ps. Predict. We predict with all the research that we do, so you can prepare, so we can all persevere through these confusing times. I know there's everybody reporting what they see, how they see things, and what their agendas are. We're here to give you what our thoughts are that help you navigate through these confusing times. Please subscribe to our channel below so you can watch our next week video and the video after that.